Hello, and welcome to a Sunday edition of Robert versus the New York Times Crossword. Very special edition because after the puzzle today, I'm going to interview the constructor of the puzzle, I hope. So you can click on the timestamp in the description below to go to that interview. But right now, it's 5:59 p.m. on Saturday, June 12th in New York City, which means 1 minute to the Sunday Crosswords post. Before that, though, take a peek at yesterday's leaderboard, where I did, in fact, come in first. I forgot where Chris was, but we had Joe Obi, then the Glorp, Stickers, Andrew, Pandagucci, PB Geckner, something like Chris around here, I think, Lydian, Hoopla, Bill Boris, Marie Unicorn, Panda Doggy, Phil, Intaro Tuna, Philly Fom, KFS Venta, MH17, Oriana, Delu, MPS Dirty Birds, M Marina, Aero Tangos, Cape God, Jay to Nomad, Chenny, Ball Don't Lie, ERL, Lil Sun, Joy, ABC 104, Namgo, and Argo. Yeah, I guess it was a pretty tough mini yesterday. I thought the acrosses were pretty hard, but I solved it on the downs. Anyway, it's now 6 o'clock in New York City, which means with any luck we should have some Sunday crosswords. So here's a spoiler alert for the Sunday mini. If you'd like to play along, pause the video here, click on the link in the description below. The mini is always free to play. Alright, let's switch frames today. There we go. Let's get into it. Makes it electric car maker Tesla, Ariel, Chop, Jerry, Asian, Blanc, Salt, Grant, Tags. Okay. Makes it, I see, you make someone it when you tag them. It's kind of hard. And then sync up. Joints for jabs. Washington State. This is new. This is new in the news recently. If you get a COVID vaccine, you get like a joint, like a marijuana joint. I don't really know. Anyway, 15-second mini. Probably won't win it. But now for the main event. That's the Sunday Daily Grid, which is by Stephen McCarthy, who is a friend of a friend. So, like I said, we'll be talking to him after the puzzle. But I'm excited to see what exactly this puzzle is. I know nothing about it, other than it was constructed by Stephen McCarthy. Here's a spoiler alert. If you'd like to play along, pause the video here, click on the link in the description below. The Daily Grid does require a New York Times game subscription, and this one is left-right symmetric. Is it standard size? Looks like it's a standard size. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into it. Writer who created Oz pairs with sweet spice flavor. Is it Anjou? Part of BA. Arts, maybe? Ooh, I don't know about the AA there, though. Deploy. That could be like use. Alberta's city named for an eagle feather headdress, obviously in slang. Maybe natch, like naturally. Excite. Rank, maybe tier. Not sure about this. Maybe amp up here. Stops talking with up. Clams up. And metal that may merit a medal. Okay. First word of a visit from St. Nicholas. Maybe 'twas the night before Christmas. 2-player game invented in Toronto. Sardonic. Rye. Acts of Parliament? I don't know. Stops talking with up. Lex Luthor to Superman. Arch enemy? Something's going on here. Blank Berliner pioneer paragraph records with possibly dire consequences. Even worse? I don't know. Raised. A bit of asparagus as a spear. Alternately. Lines up. Agitated. Pricey. MLB toga with a big, MLB team with a big W in its logo. It's probably not this then. The Nats? I don't know. RX Order is a script. Revolution into Hey Jude. Ooh, is this gonna be like A side or B side? Oh, side B or side A. Space Scanning Organization is probably SETI. It may be bitter. Maybe the end. Nice burn. Battle blank. Seasonal distillation near Quebec City. Like bees. Not blank mediocre. Clear weeds in a way. Part missing from PSI. Per. Pounds per square inch. Mystery right in Dayton. Mystery writer date, and is it Anne? I don't know. The West Wing. Cry after an award is announced. And yeah, words cried after go. Abbreviation after a price in a Craigslist ad. Or best offer, I guess. Level or bevel. Lieutenant's inferior. Is it NCO? Approximate weight of the Liberty Bell might be 1 ton. So what is this then? Ensign? Like in the Navy? Decidedly, Quebec's blank Saint John. Soft drink since 1905. Sprite, like bells and carillons. Rung? I don't know. Young hombre. Muchacho? Maybe. Capital of Qatar is Doha. Biblical verb ending est or eth here. Be batting away and desert planet. So this is Tatooine, I think. So eth here. Instruments for Israel. This is the ukulele. Can't pronounce is his last name. German auto since 1899. Maybe Audi. Some salon supplies. Ooh, like Rochester, Syracuse, but not New York City. It's gonna be upstate. So I guess it's Opal then. Canuck for short. NHLer. So I should have mentioned that Stephen McCarthy, I think, is Canadian. There's a lot of Canadian stuff in this grid. Pigeon English. Maybe coup? Maybe. I'm not sure. Basketball Champions Trophy. Nets. Woman's short hairstyle. Bob cut. There we go. This is RC Cola. 2-player game invented in Toronto. Not sure. Love is Love, e.g. Not sure. Leader of the House, question mark. Gillette brand. Maybe Atra, part of LCD. I thought that was liquid crystal. Oh, least common denominator. It's a math thing. Novel Inconvenience, or Novel Convenience, rather. Band whose 1990 hit Smooth spent 12 weeks at #1. Palette is Ashen. Outlets, e.g. Something that might lengthen a sentence, question mark. Moneybags. High school hurdle whose first 2 letters phonetically sound like one of its former components. SAT. Wow, that's a long clue for that. Like all the answers with pairs of circle letters punnily. Those are all down, so I haven't looked at them yet. This is Ada Lovelace. Seasons in Quebec, 8 days. 15th birthday celebration. Quinceañera, I think. Like this. Tomtit is another name for it. Not sure. Talks up. Mooses here. It's this one with a phone and personality. Thrown together. Seasonal destination. I don't know it. Classical Icelandic literary work is the Edda. These are hues. Where did I go wrong? Newfoundland, e.g. Abbreviation. Like some outlets. Title letters. Chained. Not sure. Oldsmobile Cutlass model. Alero. Snake oil, purportedly. Cure. Financial org, once deemed too big to fail. Serpentine simmer is an eel. This is Neil Gaiman, so I must be spelling something wrong here. Right, I think. Ooh. I think it ends like this, though. Federal Regulatory Org, EPA maybe? I'm not sure. Root beer brand. Mug? Is that a brand? Veterans. Range within which you can hear the question. Can you hear me now? Range. With which you can answer the question. 6-time winner of NHL's Art Ross Trophy. 24 in suits, actress born in Halifax. So this is so Canadian. This is Princess Leia. Dish served on a skewer, kebab, but there's many spellings of this. Big elevator maker. Oh no, it's Otis, so maybe it's not kebab. $15 an hour. Wage or rate? Or this is legs. Oh, this is Mary J. Blige. It's not legs. Is it eyes, I guess? Approvals. Yeses. One source of oil. Oh, this is satay. This is Blige here. Gordie Howe. Oh, there's an A. There's an A in all of these passes. Goes by. Shale. I think we should just put in all the A's. Leader of the House. Usher. Decidedly. Table hockey. Wow, nice. Agitated. In turmoil. This is I do. Not. This is a tool, not so hot. What is this metal that may merit a medal? Heroism. It was Natch, nesting, and Emil there. Go get him. Be batting away. Echolocate. There we go. Like some outlets. Electrical. Lac Saint-Jean. Is this an island? Overturns. Upends. Like all the answers. There's an A here. Something in Canada? Oh, I see. Made in Canada. Wow, this is REM. Et sec, that's that. Outlets, e.g. stores. Something hotel. Something ice hotel? Decidedly, indeed. Speech here. Oh. Is it Leadane? Alan Alda there? Appian there. NRA. I don't know this. I'm also not sure about that. Tautology, that's a very high on a fire danger scale. This is prior. Orange, that's how you spell it in scenario. TGIF. ARF, pound sound, nice. Okay. Lena. Could be a lot of things. Congressman Omar. I think it's Ilhan like that, right? Supplies the milk for Roquefort cheese. Is it Hughes? Leers at his Ogles. Frederick, who composed Camelot. Helps a dishwasher say dries. Veterans, old prose. Rehearsal and slang. Sesh. Thrown together. Slapdash, nice. AIG here, one with, and Siri sells, I see. Okay. Moves quickly and lightly. Darts. Hitchhiker's Need is a ride. International Fashion Magazine. Climb as a rope. Probably not darts then. You can believe it. Not only that, and likewise, they might help with changing your locks. Oh, this is an here. I don't know the actress. Program introduced by the Trudeau government in '84 colloquially. Healthcare, something healthcare. Moneybags. FDA. Iowa Cubs is AAA. Fat cat here. Santana. E-reader. Tomta is another name for it. Sierra? They might help in changing your locks. Not sure. Let's go with the downs though. Part of BA. Deploy. Could be used there. I don't know the Alberta city. Maybe it might be acts actually. Arch foe? Spots. Free healthcare? What is this though? Alternatively, by turns. Shuts up. Pricey is steep. Clear weeds say. Oh. ESPIES. I don't know about that. Central route through town. Main street like this. Cheer. Shout informally. Blank wars. Punic wars maybe? No. Punic wars were way earlier than that. Opium wars? Maybe perfect or simple, but not both. Interval? No. Climb as a rope. Is it shim or something? You can believe it. Edict. Okay, well. Or worse here, maybe? Raised. Medicine hat? Lendane? Okay, apparently. Maybe it is arts. Baum? Yeah, I think that's right. L. Frank Baum. Bosks. Lines up. Is this Sinks now? Oh, snap. Yeah, so this Sinks, I think, is a tie into the mini. WINTERICEHOTEL. Hoisted. Battle Royale. And Ale. Bitter Ale. Is this a Wren, maybe? Oh. A wig? Something? Like locks is in your hair? A wig maker? But this is definitely an here. Okay, let's see. What is this range? Can you hear me now? Earshot. Wow, okay. Is it a wig shop? Wig shops, maybe. Likewise, same. Maybe perfect or simple, but not both. Lena Olin? Tense. Like a verbal tense. Shout informally. Holla plus there. Okay, so just here, which I don't know this actress's name. Is it L? Maybe it's not a ride. This could be Flitz. Cheer. This could be Shim, I guess. Nessie Hope? You can believe it. Maybe it's not Shim. Hitchhikers need lift. Tenet? Chin. Elate? Oh, Shin? Oh gosh, this seems like it's gonna be elate, but Leslie doesn't sound. Shin. Wow. Okay. 13-14 Sunday, but it was kind of hard. Ah, and this is a maple leaf. That's amazing. Yeah. So Stephen McCarthy is Canadian, and I did kind of see that there's something in the middle grid. That's a maple leaf, and this is a very Canadian puzzle. That's pretty awesome. With the made in Canada, with this A here across the middle. And all of these very Canadian things. Gordie Howe. Wow, that's pretty cool. I don't know who Leslie Hope is. Yeah, not an easy Sunday, in my opinion. Shin. You shin a rope? Yeah. I thought this was going to be like arch enemy, so maybe there's some kind of rebus or like wrapping around or something going, but yeah. All right, let's take a peek through this puzzle. Really interesting. It's hard to find a Sunday theme that's like fun and interesting and uses the full size. Which is always kind of disappointing actually, but I don't think I've seen a puzzle quite like this before. So really cool. Really cool. Like the grid artwork together with the theme is pretty cool. I'm not just saying that because I'm gonna go talk to Stephen McCarthy after this, but didn't know about Emil Berliner. There's a lot of stuff I didn't know about. German-American inventor. He invented the lateral cut flat disc record called a gramophone record, used with the gramophone. Wow. You know, Berliner gramophone does sound kind of familiar, but didn't know about Emil. By turns, yeah. Yeah, I think this like I think they tried to make the mini tie into the daily puzzle, so we had a sync in the mini. And the gnats. Yeah, you see B side and side B. SETI is the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. You can actually donate some of your computer cycles to processing some of the signals that are gathered looking for extraterrestrial intelligence. Yeah, I thought it was going to be end, until the bitter end, but ales can be bitter. Apian is the adjective for something that's like a bee. Lendaten. Okay, so Lendaten is in crossword puzzles quite frequently, but I had just forgotten. What are the other famous Daytons? Let's see. Yeah, so Lendaten is the one that's in crossword puzzles all the time. Yeah, or best offer. This probably that's kind of like a little ugly in the grid, but it's actually kind of nice because it's actually used pretty often. Yeah, an ensign. So I guess this is in the Navy. Navy ranks. I want the Wikipedia. Oh, this is not the Wikipedia, but yes, these are commissioned officers down here. Yeah, so lieutenants rank above ensigns in the Navy. I think it's the only branch that uses ensign. Should I check? Oh gosh. Maybe I've gone down a rabbit hole. Here we go. Yeah, Navy is the only one where it's ensign. Oh, Coast Guard, PHS Corps, and NOA Corps as well. But in the Army, the Air Force, the Marines even, it's second lieutenant, then first lieutenant, then captain, and yeah. So the naval ranks are a little bit different from the Army and the Air Force ones. Is kind of the point. Anyway, interesting enough. Lac Saint Jean. A lot of Canadian stuff in this puzzle. But here's one that's not even a themer, right? Yeah. Yeah, this is Kamakawi Ole, who has like the very famous Somewhere Over the Rainbow ukulele version. You should definitely listen to it. Atra is definitely crosswordies, gotta say. I like tautology here, that's cool. Yeah, interesting clue for SAT. I kind of like it, right? You don't want a bunch of short clues. Like, it's nice for your cluing to be varied in length, just like when you're writing anything. Yeah. Ada Lovelace, who I've mentioned several times before. Yeah. She essentially wrote the first computer program before computers were invented. The daughter of Lord Byron, but yeah. Again, some more kind of Canadian stuff. Didn't know about Tom Tits, but once I had the blank REN. New Zealand. But is the word wren on this page? The word wren is not on this page. Maybe I should look it up like this. I see. Any of various other small birds as the wren. So apparently it's used kind of as a catch-all term. Didn't know that. The Edda, I only know because it's basically crosswordies. It's not basically crosswordies. I only know it from crosswords because I'm not really into mythology, but I think it's mythology. Gosh. But the only reason I know it is from crosswords. Maybe it's not mythology, but it's just medieval literary works in Old Norse. Anyway, whenever there's like a Norse book, 4 letters, you always just go with Edda. I do anyway. Again, some more Canadian stuff. I'm not sure how much I care for like sort of bonus theme related stuff that isn't like part of the themer stuff. That's probably just a subjective thing, but yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. Maybe I'll talk to Stephen McCarthy about it. Ilhan Omar, Lena Olin, who I only know from crosswords as well. Maybe we should look her up. Lena Olin. What has she been in that I would know her from? I mean, she's obviously quite decorated. Oh, she was in Chocolat. I don't think I've actually seen any of these. I also didn't watch Alias when I was on TV. Yeah, so, very decorated, very famous, but I don't think actually really in any of the things that I've ever watched. Of course, that's entirely my fault. No fault of Lena Olin. Let's... Yeah, I gotta say, not so easy. Medicine Hat, Alberta, huh? City in Southeast Alberta. I mean, that's pretty cool, Phil. It's an interesting city name, and you're even giving the etymology. Nesting, yeah. Table hockey, also nice, Phil. I mean, the themers are pretty nice. Winter Ice Hotel. I've heard about ice hotels, but the one in Sweden. But there's one in Quebec. Look up Quebec here too. I'm on Pinterest. The Quebec Ice Hotel. But where is it called the Winter Ice Hotel? Hotel de Glace. Huh. I don't know if I probably didn't look hard enough. Free healthcare though? That's a nice feature of the Canadian government, as well as nice fill. Oh, ESPIES. I was reading this as ESPIES. Okay, ESPIES. Yeah, like if you espy something. NRA. Yeah, Alan Alda, always quite popular. Interesting clue for tool. Level or bevel. It's nice that those rhyme. Yeah, I'm a big Star Wars fan, so I'm into that. It's a nice clue and nice fill. I like that. NHLer. A little mini shout to Canada. Yeah, slightly misdirecting here, because I think LSD is more commonly, you see it more commonly nowadays, at least if you're not in elementary school or something, as a liquid crystal display. Mooses is kind of a Canadian thing too. Nice clue for e-reader, novel convenience. So let me scroll down a bit. Orange. Some more baseball. A couple of baseball clues in this one. I wonder if he's into baseball. Pound sound. I like the word slapdash a lot. Yeah, nice clue for wig shops as well. Although I don't have that much experience with wig shops. Yeah, some nice stuff in this puzzle. I like Hala as well. That's yeah, nice misdirect on this. I think a lot of people, myself included, would put legs in first. And shin a rope. Oops. To shin a rope. Climb quickly up or down by gripping with one's arms and legs, but it's British, I see. So I wasn't really familiar with that. Anyway, I think the theme is really well done here, and kind of original, which I really like. Personally, I think having the extra, stuff is maybe a bit too much, actually. Like, imagine you know nothing about Canada, then, which, I know not that much about Canada, I guess. Like, all the themers are Canada themes, and I think these extras things, maybe don't really add much. But, if you're proud of Canada and you're making a very Canadian pride puzzle, I guess that's your prerogative. Anyway, yeah, so the next thing you'll see is an interview with the constructor, Stephen McCarthy, where I'll ask him some questions. So that's coming up next. Hi, so we have the constructor, Stephen McCarthy, joining us. Hi, Stephen.
Hello.
How are things going?
Oh, things are good. It's a bit late night in Stockholm here, so, but staying up and being excited that my puzzle is published.
Yeah, that's super cool. I guess I don't know if I mentioned during the solve that this is your debut puzzle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, really cool.
I have a couple more coming, but this is the first. Yeah.
So maybe before we talk about the puzzle, like, how long have you been doing crosswords, and maybe when did you get to constructing specifically?
Yeah, to be honest, I got into both solving the sort of normal American style crosswords, the New York Times specifically, and then constructing pretty quickly after that, at the start of the pandemic.
Oh, so, wow.
Yeah. But I have been solving cryptic crosswords for a long time. Yeah, my grandfather used to solve cryptic crosswords, and when I was a kid, I would sort of try to help him out with the clues, and I would almost never get any. But then as I got older, I was like, oh, that's how they work. when the pandemic started, I was like, oh, I need a new hobby. I need something to take up my time, and it just seemed natural. Like there was almost no question. As soon as I started, I was like, hey, I could make these. Like that seems interesting to me.
Yeah.
I think the first one I made was I spent like a week thinking of theme answers, and then it was it wasn't very good. I won't share it.
Yeah. Yeah. So you didn't start by constructing a 21 by 21 then, right?
No, I think I did 5 15 grids. The rate of acceptance on 21s is much higher. I think I've done 4 and had 3 accepted.
Wow.
I've done like 30 15s and only had 1 accepted. So that's not just because they're Sunday size. I think it's like I put my best ideas in the 21s.
I see. They're much harder, I think. I've tried my hand a little bit at I've constructed some 15s, but like filling in a 21 is like much more than twice as hard, I think, even though it's like twice as many squares.
But 3 times as much money.
But 3 times as much money. That's right. Yeah, maybe some people don't know how much the New York Times pays. Yeah, so maybe you could fill us in.
It's last I checked, it was 500 for this is for your first puzzle, the first 2 puzzles. 500 for a normal weekday and 1,500 US for a Sunday. But then it gets more. I guess I will at some point hit the point where I'm getting more money for puzzles. That's nice.
Yeah, it's like 50% more after a certain number or something, right? All right, so maybe we can talk specifically about this puzzle.
Yeah, I already did the puzzle as well, but obviously since I knew all the answers, I did it really quickly. I may have finally beat your time on this.
So I thought there were some pretty hard sections actually. So 1314 is fairly fast for me though. So first of all, thanks for doing something interesting on a Sunday. I don't know about you, but one of my pet peeves is like when there's a Sunday that is just like a regular puzzle but bigger. Like, I don't know, I kind of hope for my Sundays to be somehow celebratory. And I thought this use of grid art and like all the A's and like all the themes are pretty nice. It just felt like kind of fresh, which I really appreciated. So how did you come up with a theme? What was your process?
Oh, I think I know that the revealer came later, and the revealer was what convinced me to do it, and specifically to make it a 21 by 21. I had a couple of other themes that might have come first. I forget which was my first one now, but the idea of using A in a puzzle kind of appealed to me, and then trying to do a puzzle that was like somehow related to Canada. I think I wrote this to Will Shorts, who then put a sentence about it in the description of the puzzle. If people solve online, they don't see that, but if you go to the so basically this was like I made this puzzle like a month after I arrived in Stockholm last September, and I was like, missing Canada. So
yeah,
I had just moved in the middle of a pandemic, and Stockholm was it is great, but certainly it was difficult to adjust. So I think that was in my mind, that sort of like wanting to get that connection. But then I started putting together the list of words that had the A in them, specifically in between 2 words. EH is not a very common. Let's use fancy language, digraph. As we learned yesterday.
Yeah.
It's not a very common sequence in words, so most of them were sort of across 2 words.
So how did you find these? What tools did you use?
I use Xword Info's Finder.
Yeah.
But a lot of these were really just thinking, and like the finding of clues took me, I think, a couple weeks on it. Or sorry, not clues. The finding of themers, and there were a couple. So there were 2 that I did not include that I kind of liked, which were The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. I did
see this on Xword Info. Yeah.
I'm just giving your viewers the same information they can get somewhere else.
No, I think a lot of people don't know about Xword Info actually.
They should check it out. Yeah, so Trooper is a Canadian band, for Raise a Little Help, but those ones I liked. but they were long and they were hard to fit in the grid, and the editing team, Will and Coach, sort of said, we're fine if you take them out. It'll make the grid a lot easier to fill. And I think it was the right call. The resulting puzzle was a lot cleaner. My first one that I submitted not only had a very different looking, it had a maple leaf, but it had a very different looking maple leaf. But then when they emailed me back, they said, we like this theme, but what's with the vertical symmetry? Why don't you just do it normally? And then I emailed them back and said, it's a maple leaf. And they said, well, we didn't notice that. So I think my first maple leaf did not look very good. And it wasn't recognizable, obviously.
Do you happen to have that grid actually, or
I do? Yeah, here I'll
could you share it?
Can you see it now? Maple leaf?
Yeah. That.
So I wanted it to be the whole grid. I think that's where I sort of.
I see.
You can see I had all of the themers that I used plus the two other ones, and this huge section in the top middle. And there were just, I don't know, I won't go through and look for them all, but there were just a bunch of things that were not up to spec for the New York Times, and I think that's fine. Although it would have been nice to get Quebec in the crossword at 52 across.
That would be pretty cool. The current maple leaf is definitely more recognizable. So I always forget to read the title of the puzzle, which maybe I haven't mentioned yet to the viewers, which is actually maple leaf. Although, did you have any ideas for other titles?
Oh no, some of my crosswords, the other Sundays I have, one of them at least has a awesome, I think an awesome title, and I hope they keep it. But this one I was struggling. A friend of mine from Canada suggested polite hosers. I didn't think that would take off with the New York Times, and I was correct. But no one seemed to come up with anything clever. But I think the straightforward, point out the grid art approach, I think worked for this one. So.
Yeah. It seemed like actually quite a feat to get like a bunch of pretty nice themers with grid art with the A's, but this is cut down from what you had before, which is actually super impressive. My only gripe about the themers is WINTERICEHOTEL, is this a phrase, or is this like a seasonal?
No, it's absolutely not a phrase. I have the same problem.
Okay.
I was actually surprised when I submitted it. I thought that was the themer that the New York Times editing team would take issue with and be like, because really, not only is it not really a phrase, but the winter is not needed for the A. So you could I could just have isotel if I had something else that was the same length.
Right.
I didn't. And that was the only thing I had that balanced with free healthcare, I think. So I also debated whether I should put Quebec isotel in there, because Quebec is the same as winter.
Yeah.
But Quebec made that corner super hard to fill.
Yeah. Sure. Actually, as I've been doing it, Q's are hard, obviously, but actually somehow U's are also very hard, I found.
It just cuts down the number of words that you can cross it, which then constrains the corner in a much faster way. So I guess the editing team thought, and ultimately I thought it's gettable. People will figure it out with a few crosses, and hopefully it doesn't stick in people's craws.
Yeah, it's probably worth it, right? It's a slightly not ideal themer, but it balances out I think quite a good one. And then there's only so much you can do. So what was the process with the editing team? First, one question I have is how much of the cluing is yours versus how much of the cluing is the editing team's?
Yeah, I haven't counted, but I think about half of the clues are my originals, maybe a little less. I think another maybe quarter or so is similar to my original, but they punched it up. Actually, it's possible that's backwards. Maybe a quarter are my original, a half are my original mostly, but punched up a little bit and made better, and then a quarter are completely new clues.
Do you have any that you're proud of that you wrote?
I wrote the one right next to where you are, 58 down for e-reader. The novel convenience. I wrote that.
I liked that.
Thank you. I wrote. What else was I proud of? There were a couple other ones that I liked figuring, clams and shuts. The double clue on those, that was mine. I like that kind of like double clue, you're like, wait a minute, I've seen this before. I submit the clue set that I submitted actually had 4 sets of double pairs, and they cut it down to 1. Fair enough. I went overboard. I think the comment, I think I was emailing with Joel from the editing team, and the comment was like, I like the clues. We're gonna have to pare it back a little bit.
Is there any clue that the editing team wrote that you think is really good?
Yeah, the clue for echolocate, 45 down.
Yeah,
I had a much longer, less clever clue, and they just turned it into a very clever clue. Siri also, they put in a good clue, 87 down on the left, bottom left.
Yeah,
that's a good clue from theirs. There were a couple that they did. If you go over to OBO, or best offer, this is as far as I know, I checked the Xword file. That's the first time that's appeared in the New York Times crossword.
That's
I was
interesting.
surprised because to me it's a fairly common initialism.
Yeah.
Like I know exactly what it means when I see it, and it's easy to clue.
Yeah.
And so I was a little tentative. I was like, well, maybe this is something that they'll say can't be in because no one's done it before. But no, they were fine with it. So
yeah, that is interesting.
I wonder how many constructors are out there are just avoiding words that have never been used, like short words, because they've never been used, and so they feel like they're off limits.
Is there any part of the puzzle that you're not that proud of?
Ooh. There's always and not just this puzzle, but there's always entries where you're like, I wish I didn't have to use that entry, but it really just fits, like makes the thing fit together.
Yeah.
Like for different reasons. So words that are just sort of, I think, a little bit obscure and technical. Maybe Appian is not my favorite word. Certainly Sierra down on the bottom. I think I'm saying that right. It might be Kira, I guess. References after I had submitted, I looked up Frank L. Baum, the constructor of Oz, and he has some, or had, I guess he's long gone now, I think, some not great views by others. And so I was still like, oh, I don't know about that. And then I was like, okay, do I make a point of going back and trying to rewrite the corner? But I knew how difficult the corner was to fill in the first place, and so I ended up not making that decision, or making the decision not to.
Yeah, I guess you could put an L here, include it as London School of Economics. Probably not though.
I mean, I know what that is.
And arts is definitely better than orts, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you had to predict where someone would struggle with this puzzle, since I just solved it, where would you think would be the hardest part?
It's interesting. I'm not sure. I think that the middle of the maple leaf could be potentially difficult because you have the stacks.
Yeah.
So if those long ants, like if you weren't getting any of the short acrosses or the short downs on the bottom, and the long stacks were also eluding you, I feel like that might be hard to get into, especially because the entries to that are so narrow.
Yeah.
I will admit that I read Jeff Chen's review on Xword Info, and he said the bottom right corner was difficult for him.
Yeah, which was it was also difficult for me. This is, I think.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So I thought I wouldn't have flagged that corner as difficult, but except for Leslie Hope is maybe a less known name. That's fair. And then I guess earshot and wig shots are both clued with sort of clever clues.
Yeah.
Is Cure also? Cure is kind of a little misdirect maybe, and then you got the Oldsmobile model. So the way into that corner, I guess, is pretty tight.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. Like, it's kind of hard to get into this corner, and then if you don't know Leslie Hope, and then like also Shin, meaning to climb, seems to be more British than American English. So
it's not my Canadian vocabulary. I will admit that was one from the. I will admit this. I will pass the buck on this one. That was the editing team. Although my original clue was more difficult than that even. So,
what was your original clue?
You may. It was also not very good wordplay. It was you may grieve this. GREAVE.
Wow.
Which is really but it's
Like,
like no one says that you can grieve something, so
that's like,
it was not a very good clue, and I'm glad they changed it. But yeah, they could have maybe kept it as referring to the body part.
I have some technical questions that I'm curious.
Okay.
So actually, do you use software when you construct? And if so, what do you use? What's your preferred?
No, I do it on papyrus scrolls. Yeah, I use Crossfire.
Crossfire. Okay. And then what about when did you send this puzzle in, and when did you hear back the first time? Like, what was the timeline on all of that?
Let me check my mail here. I sent it in on October 4th. I heard back on February 1st. So it was, I guess that's October, November, December, January. It was 4 months. To be fair, that was like the glut of submissions, I think. That was
you sent in like a bunch of ones.
Most submissions.
Yeah.
I also at that point did not know that I was only supposed to submit 3 at a time. I now know that, and I have heard back, but I think I had probably sent them like 10 or 15 straight by that point. So yeah, don't blame them. They took a little bit longer than they might want to.
That's I think that's pretty quick turnaround time, actually, right? 4 months, and then another 4 months till publication is.
Yeah, the time to publication I think is pretty quick. We took maybe there was like a week of back and forth.
Yeah.
Editing, cluing, that sort of stuff. So what I've found is once they get back to me, they're very quick. Like once the puzzle's sort of on their desks and like they want to work with it, it's a very quick back and forth, which is really great.
And in terms of timing, how long did it actually take you to fill in the grid the first time? Let's say once you had the themers and you actually sat down to put together the grid, how long did that take you?
I mean, I probably blacked it out. I think it's got to be in the order of somewhere between around maybe 10 hours. I don't have a specific memory, sorry, of this, but it's a process.
Yeah.
It's a sort of whole day for these big ones. I'll often take like a whole weekend day, for example. Or depending on my schedule, a couple of weeknights.
Yeah, very cool. I really liked quinceañera as well, although I spelled it wrong to start.
I did wonder that. I feel like that's a difficult spelling one. I like that I got to put that into. The middle was difficult to fill, obviously, because you have the stacks crossing each other.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad that I got like what I consider pretty good long answers with a reasonable short fill as well.
Yeah, I think this middle section is actually really very nice. I think it might be my favorite part of the puzzle is this middle maple leaf. Maybe the only thing that's not that great is maybe F here. Very cool, awesome, yeah. And congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I will say before we sign off, the editing team is awesome. I've now probably emailed with a lot of them, maybe all of them, I don't know. And they're all pretty awesome and great. And I've had a lot of fun working with them. They make my puzzles better. I think they make everyone's puzzles better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait till my next one comes out too. And I'm probably going to be checking, the Reddit and all of the reviews and seeing what people don't like about my puzzle and what people do. And
yeah, actually, maybe I should ask you which of the like the online crossword communities do you keep up with?
I go and skim the Reddit sometimes. Reddit are subreddit for crosswords. I don't know what you call Reddits, but I don't have a Reddit account, so I just look. I lurk, and then I read what Jeff has to say on Expert Info. I suspect that I will be looking more thoroughly when people are talking about my crossword than I would for just a random other crossword that I had solved.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks again. Cool. Yeah, it was really nice talking to you. And I
Yeah,
look
you
forward
too.
to your next puzzle.
Thank you.
All right.
Hej då!